Good morning, family. Welcome to our morning meditation. I am Alicia Anabel, and let's just get into it. I've been up since 5, but I'm only coming here at 9 to record because I have been tending to me, and I am so glad that I am, because when I tend to me, I can bring you so much love and so much peace from a place that doesn't feel like I'm on empty, right? So my cup is full. My cup runneth over. And so I'm going to share some of that with you today. Sit comfortably. You could be either seated, grounded. Remember, our word is focus. So we are focusing. So focus on the area, anything that's hurting you, anything that feels tense for you. And let's send love to those places in our body, whether it's the mental space, the spiritual, the physical, the sexual, whatever, the financial. Listen, a lot of focused energy and intention to those places and those spaces. Please find your comfort in a chair, laying flat, cross-legged, however you're comfortable. And let's take a deep breath in. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Breathe normally. Keep breathing. Allow the vibration to fill you. Receive all of that. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Allow the vibration to fill you, to rise in you. What do you need today? What are you holding today? What can you release today? What can you let go of today? What can you say, I'm done with, I'm done with, I'm done with this? Let's inhale everything that you need. What do you need today? Love, peace, calmness. What are we releasing? Chaos, noise, turmoil, fear. Inhale. Harmony. Exhale. Worry. Inhale. Gratitude. Exhale. Resentments. Keep breathing. Keep breathing, and I'm going to read. Keep breathing in everything that you need and releasing everything that you need to. We are reading from Marianne Williamson's A Return to Love. We're on page 13. We are closing the chapter Hell to begin chapter 2. Not that moment of eureka, that calling out to God is it, and it's all paradise from then on. You've simply started the climb. But you know you're not running around in circles at the bottom of the mountain anymore, never really getting anywhere, dreaming of the top and having no idea how to get there. For many people, things have to get very bad before there's a shift. When you truly bottom out, there comes an exhilarating release. You recognize there's a power in the universe bigger than you are, who can do for you what you can't do for yourself. All of a sudden, your last resort sounds like a very good idea. How ironic. You spend your whole life resisting the notion that there is someone out there smarter than you are, and then all of a sudden, you're so relieved to know it's true. All of a sudden, you're not too proud to ask for help. That's what it means to surrender to God. Chapter 2, God. You are in God. Page 17. God is the rock. There is no time, no place, no state where God is absent. That's from A Course in Miracles. There have been times in my life, and they still happen today, though they're more the exception now than the rule, when I have felt as though sadness would overwhelm me. Something didn't turn out the way I wanted it to, or I was in conflict with someone, or I was afraid of what might or might not happen in the future. Life in those moments can be difficult to bear, and the mind begins an endless search for its escape from pain. What I learned from A Course in Miracles is that the change we're really looking for is inside our heads. Events are always in flux. One day people love you, the next day you're their target. One day a situation is running smoothly, the next day chaos reigns. One day you feel like you're an okay person, the next day you feel like you're an utter failure. These changes in life are always going to happen. They're part of the human experience. What we can change, however, is how we perceive them. And that shift in our perception is a miracle. There's a biblical story where Jesus says we can build our house on sand and we can build it on rock. Our house is our emotional stability. When it is built on sand, when the winds and rain can tear it down, one disappointing phone call and we crumble, one storm and the house falls down. When our house is built on rock, then it is sturdy and strong, and the storms can't destroy it. We are not so vulnerable to life's passing dramas. Our stability rests on something more enduring than the current weather, something permanent and strong. We're depending on God. I had never realized that depending on God meant depending on love. I had heard it said that God was love, but it had never kicked in for me exactly what that meant. As I began to study A Course in Miracles, I discovered the following things. God is the love within us. Whether we follow him or think with love is entirely up to us. When we choose to love or to allow our minds to be one with God, then life is peaceful. When we turn away from love, the pain sets in. And whether we love or close our hearts to love is a mental choice we make every moment of every day. 2. Love is God. From A Course in Miracles.
10 minutes more before the hour is up.
Love is
I'm a pest, I know that.
Sorry. I'm in my Creating Within the Chaos writing workshop, and one of the writers spoke, so I had to mute that. 2. Love is God. Love does not conquer all things, but it does set all things right. From A Course in Miracles. Love taken seriously is a radical outlook, a major departure from the psychological orientation that rules the world. It is threatening not because it is a small idea, but because it is so large. For many people, God is a frightening concept. Asking God for help doesn't seem very comforting if we think of him as something outside ourselves or capricious or judgmental, but God is love. We were created in his image or mind, which means that we are extensions of his love. This is why we are called the sons of God. We think we authored God, rather than realizing that he authored us. The Course says we have an authority problem. Rather than accepting that we are the loving beings that he created, we have arrogantly thought that we could create ourselves and then create God. but we are angry and judgmental. We have projected those characteristics onto him. We have made up a God in our image, but God remains who he is and always has been. The energy, the thought of unconditional love. He cannot think with anger or judgment. He is mercy and compassion and total acceptance. The problem is that we have forgotten this, and so we have forgotten who we ourselves are. I began to realize that taking love seriously would be a complete transformation of my thinking. A Course in Miracles calls itself a mind training, in the relinquishment of a thought system based on fear and the acceptance instead of a thought system based on love. Now over a decade since starting the study of A Course in Miracles, my mind is hardly the touchstone of holy perception. I certainly don't pretend to consistently achieve a loving perspective of every situation in my own life. One thing I'm very clear about, however, is that when I do, life works out beautifully, and when I don't, things stay stuck. In order to love purely, we must surrender our old ways of thinking. For most of us, surrendering anything is difficult. We still think of surrender as failure, as something you do when you've lost the war. But spiritual surrender, although passive, is not weak. Actually, it is strong. It is a balance to our aggression. Although aggression is not bad, it is at the heart of creativity. It needs to be tempered by love in order to be an agent of harmony rather than violence. The mind that's separate from God has forgotten how to check in with love before it saunters out into the world. Without love, our actions are hysterical. Without love, we have no wisdom. To surrender to God means to let go and just love. By affirming that love is our priority in a situation, we actualize the power of God. This is not a metaphor, it's a fact. We literally use our minds to co-create with him through a mental decision, a conscious recognition of love's importance, and our willingness to experience it. We call on a higher power. Ache. We set aside our normal mental habit patterns and allow them to be superseded by a different, gentler mode of perception. That is what it means to let a power greater than we are direct our lives. I'm going to leave it there. Surrender. That is the theme of the hour. How can we focus more on surrendering, on giving it to our ancestors and saying, brother, I trust that you have me, that you're guiding me, that you're walking me, that you're protecting me, that you're revealing things to me, right? My Ocha, my Orisha, Olofi, the source, love. I focus on love. I focus on love to get more of what I want. I focus on love when I'm worried about how I'm going to pay the rent. I focus on love when I worry about how I'm going to eat. I focus on love when I worry about how am I going to heal whatever pain. How can we focus more on love? And how can we surrender anything that is not love? Our card from the Iyan Levanzan deck. If I don't ask for what I want, the need will keep getting bigger. Until today, you may have thought you had to do it alone. Just for today, ask for what you need and know that it is okay to do so. We cannot hold people to these unrealistic standards and expectations for meeting our needs. If they are not capable of being what we need, then we have to be the ones to say that. You have to say that. Can't assume that they know that they are not giving us what we need. And so may you ask and may you receive. Family, inhale. Abundance Amen. Namaste. And so it is.